Howdy. This lesson is about stop lights, stop lines, and stop signs. So stop lights. I firmly believe that if you are at a stoplight, and generally this indicates that you're probably at a red, because why else would you be just at a stoplight? I generally believe that everybody at a stoplight has a responsibility to pay enough attention to go when it turns green. Another quick thing about that, if you are in a line of stopped cars at a red light, and the light turns green, if every single person in that line simply took their foot off the brake pedal, I don't know much about electric cars, and then when you have manuals, it's a little bit different too. This is kind of mostly about regular automatic transmissions. But if everybody in that line took their foot off the brake when that light turned green, you'd all just start going smoothly. The car in the very front would, outpace everybody, hopefully, and then the distance between cars will be created as everybody kind of pushes on the gas, after that initial release of the brakes. This is something that once we get self-driving cars, you'll see a lot. Their reaction times are probably going to be so damn near instantaneous. So you'll be at a stoplight in a line of cars, and then it turns green, and then you'll see a flood of red brake lights just go away, basically in unison. But this could happen now with automatic cars. It's just people are way too trepidatious or not paying attention. And then the paying attention part of things is, I like to picture a scenario such as this. Let's say you have, I usually go with a single mother, single father kind of scenario, but it really could be any scenario where the parents, caretakers, I can't remember the other word for when you are responsible but you're not a parent. I think it might be caretaker, but something else, but I don't remember. But I like to picture a scenario where you have a single mother and their son or daughter has been practicing their butt off at an instrument, right? And they have a solo performance coming up at night or in the evening, whatever. And this single mom or dad has done, they gotta work, right? They gotta make money to support their child, they're doing it all on their own. They're probably gonna be working long hours. And let's assume that this single mom or dad, and just go single mom for ease, this single mom has weeks in advance asked for a specific time off, because she's planned it all out. She's working as many hours as she can to make as much money as she can to continue providing for her family. But she's worked it out with her boss that she's going to get off tonight at just the right time to get to school on time. Or, let's say school. The schools were at the performance standards. And she knows the route. She knows just about how long it takes generally. So let's say single mom is now in traffic at a stoplight, and she's timed this out as well as she can. She's driving the speed limits, she's following the rules, all that stuff. And if she happens to get stuck behind some dumbass who is on their phone, or otherwise not paying attention, the light turns green. She's a nice lady, so she's not going to honk right away. She's going to wait a couple seconds. Light turns green. Person in front of her, once it kind of turns yellow, person in front of her is like, oh shit, and then goes. And she's not going to break the law, though, so she's going to have to come to a stop at this stoplight and wait for the entire rotation of that stoplight to go. She gets to the school, couple minutes later than she anticipated, because this one person in front of her just wasn't paying attention, was being an idiot. But think about that multiplied too. If it happens at 2 stoplights or more, then she's going to be super duper late. She's going to miss her child's recital. Her child's going to be disappointed. Like, that's the scenario I keep in mind. Like, when you are at a stoplight, you have a responsibility to every car behind you to be as efficient at that stoplight as you can be. So when it turns green, you go. Pay attention, go. There's something to be said for waiting a second or two to make sure there's no cars that are flying through trying to catch that or beat the red. But yeah, when you're at a stoplight, pay attention and be ready to go, so that you don't make some single mother who's done everything in her power to get to her child's recital on time to watch her perform this song that she's so proud to have practiced enough to be perfect at. So that's stop lights. Just in general, pay attention, go when you're supposed to. You can release the brake as soon as it turns green, generally, if everybody else is doing it. It should be how it works, but people are not paying attention. Or they're trepidatious. Stop lines and stop signs kind of go together. In general, I'm hoping, I think it's the same in every state. If you are supposed to stop at the stop sign, so no further, the front bumper of your car should be no further than the stop sign. But if there's a stop line, you can pull up to that stop line for your complete stop. The reason this is important is if you have, it's just this dumb headache I get every time somebody does this, and it's so stupid. The reason this is important is if you are coming to a stop at a stop sign, stop line, and somebody else is also doing the same thing, but they go past the line, I never know if they're just gonna go because they haven't respected the stop line or stop sign. And like in Pittsburgh, this happens a lot because the stop line, stop sign could be several feet, several yards from the actual intersection. Happens around my apartments constantly. So if you come to a stop at the stop line and all the other traffic is doing the same thing, you know where your place is to go next or second to next or whatever it is. If you are not stopping at the stop line, then all the other traffic around you is like, okay, are they just gonna go? What are they doing? And it just causes a delay. It causes this dumb delay. Whereas if you stopped at the stop line, other traffic, okay, cool, they stopped, I'm next, they're after me, or they got to the stop line first and stopped, so they're next and I'm after them. That's why stop lines and stop signs, to me, are important. In a lot of cities, they're also very, very important because of buses. I didn't really realize this until I moved to Pittsburgh because it wasn't really much of a problem where I'm from in the Tri-Cities, Washington. Lanes in general were big enough. Like I drove a school bus. Lanes in general were big enough. I mean, if somebody wasn't stopped at a stop line that was much further back than the actual intersection, then yeah, I occasionally had a problem. That is another reason that they are incredibly important, because it gives the buses enough room to complete their turn. Because buses are supposed to pull out quite a bit into the intersection before cranking that wheel, cranking it as far as they can to start their turn, so they can get their back right or back left tire, probably usually back right, but back right tire past the sidewalk, past the curb, in order to not hit it. So that's why those are the two reasons that stop lines and stop signs are so important. And yeah, have a good day. Bye-bye.